Hello everyone, welcome to Facebook Wednesday, or Wednesday Facebook. I have the most amazing card to share with you guys today. It's so adorable, it's so cute, and it's really fun to make, and once you see it made, you'll want to make 1,000 of them, I promise. It is so much fun to make. Okay, but we have a lot to talk about before we get to the card. So first of all, we're just going to jump right into it. Our designer series paper sale, 15% off through the month of October, which is only about a week and a half left. Believe it or not, we only have about a week and a half left of October, so there is not much time left to save on the DSP. There's no limit to how many you can buy. You can buy as many as you want. There's no minimum purchase. You can buy just DSP if that's what you want, but there are some fantastic patterns only available this month, 15% off, which makes most of them under $10 a package, which is pretty amazing. It's a pretty great deal. So don't miss out. Stock up now. Time is running out. And while you're ordering, I have an amazing special this month. It is Blendtober. I am giving away Stampin' Blends for every $50 you order before tax and shipping. You must use the host code. You must use the host code when you make your purchase, and then after you make your purchase, just send me an email letting me know what colors you want, and I will send you those blends for free. And there's no limit to how many of these you can earn either. You can earn as many as you want with the Stampin' Blends. But this is only through October 2. Only about a week and a half left of that. My paper pumpkin arrived yesterday, guys. I haven't even opened it. I mean, you'll see it's still completely packaged up. I have not opened it. I've only taken the plastic wrap off of it. I'm going to do a Facebook Live tomorrow morning in my VIP group. I'm going to post about that after I'm done with this Facebook Live, but I think it's going to be around 10 a.m. in my VIP group, and we're going to do Paper Pumpkin together. So if you haven't subscribed to Paper Pumpkin, next month, the November kit is going to be a gingerbread themed kit. I'm super excited about that. And you'll want to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin before November 10th to get that kit. So, but if you want to see this month's kit, if you want to see October's kit, join my VIP group. I'll make sure to list a link to that after the Facebook Live is over. And you can do Paper Pumpkin with me tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. I think. But I will post that other detail for sure. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where to put stuff. Okay, I have 2 classes going on right now, 2 classes that you can RSVP for. The first is my Love of Leaves Stamp-A-Stack. We talked about this a little bit last week. You're going to get supplies for 8 cards. You're going to get a quarter pack of the Artistry Blooms DSP, a quarter pack of the Rainbow Glimmer paper, half a package of gold glimmer enamel dots, and it's all going to ship for free. So that class is $30. The last day to RSVP for that class is Sunday. That is October 25th. You must RSVP with payment on Sunday. So this is just a quick little sneak peek of those cards. We used the Love of Leaf stamp set bundle actually last week, and so if you love the Love of Leaves, you can sign up for that stamp. It's like, again, 8 cards, $30, tons of product. You must RSVP by Sunday. All right, my second class was announced today. This is going to be my Christmas card class this year. Since I'm not doing an in-person Christmas card class, we're doing it via Zoom this year. The class is November 22nd, I believe. I think that's the Sunday, November 22nd. It's going to be in the afternoon. Via Zoom, you're going to make 18 cards and 12 tags, and we are using the Tag Buffet kit. So it all comes in this gorgeous little box, which you can use to re-gift stuff, and we're just going to go over these really quick. I don't have all 18 cards in here because they don't fit in this box once they're all made, but we're turning some of the tags into cards. So I'm just going to kind of fan these out. You're going to make 18 gorgeous cards, and then you're going to make 12 tags to go with those cards. So just quick sneak peeks of those. The Tag Buffet Christmas card tag class is $45, and that includes the Tag Buffet kit. It includes shipping and a few other things it includes. All the details are on my blog. I did list links in the video description, so you can check that out. The last day to RSVP for this one is the 8th of November, so make sure you RSVP for that one too. I'm really excited about this one. We're going to do it over Zoom. It's going to be a blast, so make sure you RSVP for that. Okay, quick reminders, please share my video with your crafty friends. And if you do need to place an order, make sure you head to my online store and use this host code. Okay, ready to see the card we're going to make? Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, I'll show you the card we're going to make first. So this is the card we're making today. We're using the Nothing's Better Than bundle, and I'll show you that in just a second. It slides up, and it says, because adulting is hard. Today's plan, consume coffee because adulting is hard. So isn't that adorable? Isn't that so super cute? So this card was inspired by this card that I made for my daughter's birthday this week. Her birthday was Saturday, and I made this card for her. This was her birthday card. Hippo birthday, you're just so fabulous. So this was the card I made for her, and then I had so much fun making this card, and it was so easy that I thought we're gonna make this card because I think this is definitely a more relatable card for us right now. So this is the one we're making, but I wanted to show you both, and they will both be on my blog. This one will be on my blog tomorrow, and then you can check out the details and supply list and everything for this one on Friday. Okay, so isn't it adorable? So we're gonna make it. I know it looks intimidating, and I've made these cards before. I mean, it's been years since I've made a slider card like this, and I remember they had a specific name, and for the life of me, I've racked my brain for days, and I could not remember the name of it. So I'm calling it like a slider easel card. You slide it up, and it stands up like an easel. So that's what I'm calling it. I don't know if that's the official name for it, though. I don't know. I know there's a real name for it, but I can't remember. So, but we're gonna make this card. So many details to it, so we're gonna jump right in. Okay, let's start with the products we're using. So I said we're using the Nothing's Better Than bundle, and we're using coffee today, but you could see you can do cookies, cocktails, chocolate. You could do this with any of these. And then they do have coordinating dies that go with them too. So we're using this bundle today. I also have, let me pull out all my dies. Let me show you what we're using. Okay, so let's go over our card supplies as well as that. We're making a top folding card today. So I have an 11 by 4 1/4 piece of cardstock, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. So this is just your standard size card. It just folds this way instead of sideways like I normally do. So that is our card base. To layer up on our card, I have a piece of Calypso Coral. This was Purple Posy. I have a piece of Calypso Coral, which is 5 by 3 3/4, and that's going to go right on our card. I have a piece of white that is just slightly smaller than that. I think it's just a 1/4 inch smaller, so 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. This is going to go behind our white piece, so that we have a white backing behind there. So that's going to go behind there. I have another piece of white, which I believe is 5 1/2 by 3. Let me double check. 5 1/2 by 3. And then on the long side, I have scored it at 1/2 inch. And I'll show you why in just a minute when we get to this step. And I've also pre-rounded the top corners. So you have the score line down here at 1/2 inch, and then I've pre-rounded these corners just to give it a cleaner look. Okay, I have already pre-die cut some of our layering papers here. So I have this piece from the Playful Patterns DSP. I love these little bubbles, and we're using the stitched rectangle on that. And this is the 4th largest stitch rectangle. So, and we're also going to be using this again. So you'll need your stitch rectangles. You'll need those handy. I have a Purple Posy scallop circle, and that is from the Layering Circles die, and that is, I think it's the largest. It is. This is the largest of the Layering Circles, of the scallop size anyway. From the Hippo and Friends die, I have this little swoopy square one. That is the middle layer to this one. These little, I don't even know what you call it. It's just a really fun little tag shape. That is out of Calypso Coral. I told you guys there are tons of layers to this one. Bringing back the Layering Circles, I have another circle die. This looks like maybe the 4th smallest one, but just whatever one you want to layer up is fine. You can even use circle punches for this. Okay, and then we have our dies from the actual Nothing's Better Than bundle. Okay, and then lots of scrap pieces for our stamping. So we have scraps of Bumblebee, Purple Posy, and Calypso Coral. So scraps, all of our dies. All right, let's do our stamping first. Okay, let's get all of our stamping out of the way. So I need this piece. We're going to stamp on this piece. yeah, we're going to do our stamping, but we're going to actually come back and do a little bit more stamping in just a minute. I'm going to get these pieces out first. I'm going to pull out my Calypso Coral ink. And there's this little star in that bundle. Where did that bundle go? I lost the stamp set. There's this little tiny star right here. So that's the one we're using. And I just wanted to add a little bit of texture to this piece right here. So I'm just doing a little bit in the top left and then a little bit in the bottom right. So I have a piece of scrap paper underneath. Just go through. You can do the whole thing, but this is a very small stamp and it'll take you a while. But you could also stamp, I mean, we're doing a coffee card, so you could stamp the coffee cups. You could stamp anything really. I mean, if you were doing the cookies, you could stamp the cookies back here. I just dipped my thumb in the ink pad. So that's fantastic. So we'll have Calypso Coral streaks and everything. So you'll see just a little bit of stamping. It just adds a little bit of texture. As long as my, I'm going to move my scrap paper. As long as my Calypso Coral pad is out, I'm going to stamp today's plan, consume, and we're just going to do that in the top of our circle here. And you could always stamp all this and then die cut it too. Just for time's sake, I have everything pre-die cut, but you could absolutely do that the opposite way and stamp and then die cut. All right, now I'm going to, let's stamp our little cup because I have that out. Now I have found, because this is a photopolymer stamp set, I'm going to bring out my Stampin' Pierce mat to stamp. And I'm going to start with the outline of my mug. I'm going to stamp that first in the Calypso Coral. We're doing this on Calypso Coral cardstock. I'm going to bring in my scrap paper again. And then the little inside liner, I'm going to stamp off and then stamp that right over my cup. And that just gives your cup, it might be harder to pick up on the video, but that just gives it a nice two-tone look. Very cute, even though it's tone on tone. Okay, so you would do that with all three of your colors, and then you would die cut your cups. But through the magic of television, I have already done that with all three of our colors, and I have already die cut them, so I've saved us a little bit of time. Okay, I think that we are ready to do some die cutting. So let me move these out of the way real quick. And I'm going to pull in my die cutting machine, and we're going to create this, this little cutting part. And this is the most complicated part of the card, but I promise you it is very easy. We're going to take our Calypso Coral layer, and let me move in my machine. My cut and emboss machine. Open up both sides. Okay, so we're going to take that rectangle and we are going to lay it down. We're just going to center it onto our paper here. Do as best a job you can to center it, and I'm going to tack it down with some Post-it tape just to make sure it doesn't move. Now up here on the top, we do not want it to cut through. We only want it to cut these three sides, the two sides and this bottom. So what I'm going to do is just lay my plate right up against the edge of that die. I need to make sure this is straight, going in straight. So I am not covering the top of that plate or the top of that die with my top plate. We are only die cutting those bottom three layers. So let's get this into the machine. We'll start, let me do it this way. Let's flip it this way. I think it's easier to have this on this side. So I hope you guys can still see that. So I am not cutting that top line. So you can see my plate is not covering that. I'm gonna hold this, we're gonna go through. And here we go. Perfect. Let me pull this back and you'll see, let's take this off. Let's take off our tape. This tape has been used a few times. You wouldn't think it would be so sticky still, but gotta love Post-it. Okay, so you can see, let me put this over here. So you can see that we did not cut, oh, and it cut crooked, but that's okay. You can see it did not cut the top part here, and that's exactly what we want. Okay, let's move our die cutting machine out of the way. I think I lined it up crooked. It's not too bad though. Okay, we're gonna do some scoring on this real quick. So pull out your paper trimmer or your scoring tool. The Simply Scored would work as well. Pull out your paper trimmer, and I'm going to just line this up. We're gonna use our scoring tool. I'm just gonna line up those two ends right in the track and just score between both of those. Okay, and that is the most complicated part of this. You just want to cut on 3 sides and then just score that top line. Okay, so we're just going to fold this back. Give this a nice little burnish with our bone folder. And then we're just going to fold this in half. You could score this one too, but I'm not worried about it wrinkling because we are going to cover it with some DSP, so I'm not too worried about that. Just give that a nice little squish, okay? So this is basically the making of your little slider. Okay, and this was the most complicated part, I promise. Super easy, right? You guys can do that. All right, let's assemble a few things before we lose them. So let's get this stitch rectangle piece that I die cut with the Playful Patterns die. And we want to make sure this is nice and adhered down. I'm using my Stampin' Seal. You can use your Stampin' Seal Plus. I'm putting a lot on there. And we're just going to line this up right on top. Okay. Just like that. And then we're just going to fold this again just to crease that DSP. Okay. You see where I'm going? Okay. All right, let's bring in this piece. I told you I had rounded the corners. This was our 5 by 3 inch piece and I'd scored it at 1/2 inch down here. And I am just going to eyeball and cut off the corners down here. You could measure, but I am literally, oh, sorry guys, I think my dog UPS just arrived, so my dog of course thinks that we're being attacked. So sorry guys. All right, so we have our 1/2 inch strip right here. I've cut off the corners. My whole family came out to see why the dog was barking, so all right. He is just a little like mini schnauzer and he just goes nuts. He hates the UPS guy. I don't know what it is. He just hates the UPS guy. Okay, so all I did, I put a piece of tear and tape. You could use Stampin' Seal Plus. You could use Tombow. I'm using tear and tape just because it's quick and easy. And I put it on that little 1/2 inch flap. So I hope you guys are still with me. I hope the scary dog didn't frighten you guys. Okay, we're gonna take this flap and the bottom of our stitched piece, and I'm just gonna glue that flap onto the bottom here. Okay, just get that nice and straight, just like that. He's back. Okay, now if you hold this down, this is our sliding piece. So you can see how that's going to work now. So there is, the dog is very protective. There is your basic mechanism. Okay, so you guys, it's not too hard. And if you don't have the rectangle dies or any other rectangle die, you could cut this with a paper trimmer or even like an X-Acto knife or a hobby knife or something. Okay, so that is that piece. Now I'm going to slide this up. We're going to slide this up and I'm just going to kind of lay this piece over our white piece because we want to do some stamping on this white piece, but we want to make sure that we stamp in the correct area because we want to make sure that it's seen. So I have this piece all slid up and I'm going to grab a pencil. I'm just going to draw a couple little marks here and that's just going to show me where I need to be doing my stamping. Okay, we're going to do, let's pull this out. Let's see what we're going to stamp here. I'm going to pull out my Calypso Coral ink again, and I'm going to lose my little cups. And let me get my little foam mat here. And we're going to stamp a little Calypso Coral cup here. I'm going to stamp that off to the side here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to fill it in with the Calypso Coral again, but I need to get scrap paper. Stamp that on the scrap paper and stamp your little filler in it. Isn't that cute? So okay, now I'm going to clean these real quick because we're going to use them in Bumblebee. Let's make it out my chamois. I'm going to clean these off really quick. If you guys don't have your Simply Chamois, this is the best stamp cleaner. I love it. Okay, we're going to close up our Calypso Coral. We're going to bring out our Bumblebee. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to stamp another little cup on this side. this, stamp it off. And I love this stamp set because you don't have to line these up completely perfectly and exact, and they still look fantastic. Okay, one more thing to stamp. We're going to stamp our Because Adulting is Hard greeting. And we're going to stamp that in Highland Heather right on top of our little cups here. Because adulting is hard. Okay. I'm going to close up all these ink pads, and I think we're ready to assemble. Let me get my pencil. I'm just going to erase these little pencil lines, because we know that we stamped it in the correct place, and all we need to do now is assemble. Okay, so let's move that out of the way. Let's bring in all of our pieces. So we have our little sliding mechanism here. We have our layering pieces. We have all of our cups. So let's make this part first. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal and just adhere all of these layers together. So I have the Purple Posy scallop circle, the Calypso Coral label from Hippo and Friends, then our circle goes right on top of that, and then I'm going to pull out my Tombow just to adhere the cups down. So I'm going to go with my Bumblebee cup, and I like my Tombow because it gives me a little bit of moving around chance just to make sure everything's in the right spot. And then my Purple Posy one, a little bit of glue on that. That's gonna go about right there. And then we have our Calypso Coral little cup, just like that. Fantastic. And we haven't cut our coffee piece, so let's go ahead and assemble everything, and then we'll add that part in just a minute. So where are my dimensionals? So I'm going to use some dimensionals, and I'm going to only put dimensionals on the bottom half of this. If you put dimensionals on the entire thing, it won't slide, and I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Get all these backings off. Okay. So this is going to go right on the bottom. You're only adhering it to this bottom half of that slider piece, so that when this slides up, that stands up. Okay? So if you glue the whole thing down, it won't slide. So just add your adhesive just to that bottom part. Okay, and let's adhere the rest of this together. So I have my Stampin' Seal. This is going to go right in the middle of the card. And then we're going to adhere this, and we're going to stick this on with some dimensionals, and I am using our foam adhesive sheets for this. So I'm going to grab my scissors, and I'm just going to cut super thin little pieces here. I am only putting adhesive along the sides and the bottom, and you don't want it to touch this white sliding mechanism. And the adhesive strips are fantastic. So the dimensionals are a little too wide, and you can cut the adhesive, the foam adhesive sheets any length you need them to be. So stick this down, and then one more on the bottom. So just like that. I love these foam adhesive sheets. They are quickly becoming one of my favorite adhesives. And then just one down there. So we're going to peel all of these off, and then this will go right onto our card base. I'm going to turn this to the side so I can line it up. Perfect. And let's just make sure. Perfect. Love it. Okay, so we just have a couple more things to do. We do want to die cut our little coffee sentiment. So this is the die from that Nothing's Better Than. And what I have here, I have a little piece of Highland Heather, and then I have some more of that foam adhesive sheet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick my Highland Heather to that foam adhesive sheet, and I'm just going to cut this out just like this. Set that off to the side, and then we're going to die cut this, and this will die cut through that foam adhesive sheet. So let's bring back our die cutting machine. Stick this on here just like that. Pull it up. So I have my foam adhesive sheet with the cardstock on top, and then the die, and I'm just going to bring this through once and then back and forth. So pull that off. And let's move that out of the way again. All right, now I'm going to peel this off, and I want the words to stay in that die cut. So I'm going to just carefully peel it off so that the words are in there. It's nice and sticky now. And I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and if you have anything like the O or the E's, you just want to peel all those little pieces out, and with your Take Your Pick tool you can just kind of grab them and they should just come right out just like that. But it's easier to pull them out when they're still in the die than after you've put them on your card. And if you leave them in the die, the die keeps its shape, so the word doesn't become distorted or anything. So we'll get that now. This one, and this little one does not want to come out, but we're gonna get it. Perfect. Okay, I think we got it. So we're gonna just flip the die over and just kind of lay it down. Today's plan, consume coffee. And I love that it's nice and dimensionalized now. And then you can just carefully remove your die, and it should just come right off, just like that. There's still just a little piece in there. Isn't that cute? So your coffee is nice and dimensionalized, and it was super easy with your foam adhesive sheets. All right, and last and final touch, I have a little purple posy bow that I have turned into a bow using that purple posy ribbon, or the Playing with Patterns ribbon pack. And I'm just going to put a glue dot on the back of that. That just goes on the top of our slider. And that is it. Our card is done. Today's plan, consume coffee because adulting is hard. Isn't that cute? I love it. And remember, you could do this with any of the images from the Nothing's Better Than. You can do cocktails, chocolate, cookies, anything. Pick your favorite treat. But it was really cute. I love this card. I love how fun it is. It's really not that complicated. Just take it step by step, and I promise you can do it. If you enjoyed this card, please share this video with your friends. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you need to order any supplies, please head to my online store and order anything. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.